I'm just doing a quick test. One thing I want to get better at, especially because I have on this new GoPro the touch screen at the back. I can I don't have to connect my GoPro to my phone and look am I in frame exactly so I'm trying to perfect that because I mean just because the camera's pointed a certain way and a certain height doesn't necessarily mean I'm in frame. I'm just guessing. So yeah, I want to get better at that. But also, this whole thing with the color, I can shoot in GoPro color or flat color. But when I uploaded the flat footage, it looks just like GoPro color. So I just did it. I did a conversation in GoPro color, and I'm same outfit, same lighting, everything. Right now, I just decided to shoot this so I can compare when I upload them. Anyway, I also need to look up ISO because I forget what that the white balance stuff. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if I have any other updates or if I'm just doing this for myself. I guess I could. I don't know. That concussion that I had 2 months ago. This is gross, but I sustained head trauma. I had a huge goose egg back here, from where the point of impact was on my helmet. And it's super dented. And then that goose egg, the swelling went down. But then it's started filling up with fluid, and it's just yeah. I saw the doctor the other day, and they're gonna have I don't know. She was explaining it, but skin gets under skin, and then it's a cyst, and then it just will keep filling up and keep filling up, and then once it bursts, it just it's okay, it'll just keep doing that though, unless someone goes in surgically and removes a thing or something. I don't really want to do that, but the thing is that if I don't touch it, if I leave it alone and I don't drain it myself, which is difficult not to do because I'm just that kind of person that's I don't pick scabs, but I drain fluid if there's anything pimples and stuff like that. So it's hard not to, but also when I leave it alone, it gets bigger and bigger, and it also hurts more, and it's really sensitive because basically it's just the skin is just tighter because there's more fluid. Ugh, it's kind of gross. That's what's going on with me. I'm struggling. I've talked about mice and mouse issues in the studio before. Maybe not the studio, the gallery, the building. I haven't talked about it in a while, and I don't want to get into too much detail, but I'm frustrated, and I'm having a weird moment. I don't I can hear it squeaking right now. Frick. I don't like the idea of killing mice. There's this weird thing that happens with people of oh, cute animals, let's not kill and eat those, right? There's that thing of in some cultures they eat certain animals that in Canadian, North American, Western culture, whatever you want to call it, we don't eat. And then it becomes that thing that a lot of vegetarians and vegans say is this animal's cute too. Why are we killing cows? Look how cute they are, or whatever. Why do we kill and eat them? Or little baby chicks, or whatever, right? I eat meat. I was a vegetarian for about 2 years, and part of it was because I have a love for animals, not just dogs. I do have a love for animals, and I wasn't really being a vegetarian in the right way, I guess. Just with prepping meals and stuff, I used to mean it wasn't healthy. And then I slowly started eating meat again. And it becomes this thing of standing behind your principles and stuff like that, because it's I do love animals, but I have been acclimated to this culture of hey, some are cool to eat. It's okay. I enjoy the taste of that. I could do without it. If it's really hard for me to do on my own, but I'll eat vegan meals. They're delicious. I would. There's so many things that I could eat instead, and I'm okay with that. I think if my partner was vegetarian or vegan or whatever, if they didn't eat meat, I don't think I'd eat meat. I think I would just be yeah, it's all good. to be clear, if we lived together, and I would learn how to cook those meals, and I would be fine with that. And I don't think it'd be like, oh man, I'm just really craving the red meat or whatever. And I would feel better about myself for doing that. But I am not. I don't know. I don't have this strong principle that I almost wish I did of like, I don't want to contribute. Because here's the thing. It's like, for me, it's either like on this side or this side, and this middle ground is weird. I think like being vegetarian but not being vegan, and the reason you're vegetarian is because of your, oh man, I don't want to leave the studio right now because the mouse is like dying this horrible slow death. Like it might not be injured, like it can't move, but it might not be injured enough to die. It might not die from its injuries. It might die from starvation instead, because it's like wiggling and squealing, and like part of me is just like I don't know. Part of me wants to take a blunt object and just like kill it, right? But I'm like, what am I? I don't want to get that close. What if I break the trap it's in by trying to do that, and I don't kill it, and then it's free? One, what if it's free? Period. And what if it's free and then ends up dying somewhere else? I don't know. But then I take the chance of like trying to kill it, and that would be better. I don't know. There's this thing of just like, whatever. What I was trying to get at was that you eat meat, you whatever, you might have that soft spot, but you don't do anything about it, and like you buy leather products, and you perpetuate the cycle and feed into the culture, and you vote with your wallet, right? And then that's just what you do. That's a thing. And then if you're a vegetarian, you're somewhere in the middle. I thought I heard something, and then the squealing stopped. Nope, didn't stop. Okay. That's so gross. Yeah. I think that if you're vegan, that makes way more sense than being somewhere in the middle, because you're just like, I don't want to support people using animal products. I'm not going to buy any animal products. I think that we should leave whatever, right? And there's just this thing of like, I know that it's completely cultural and almost random and doesn't have a rhyme or reason as to why we do this with some animals and other animals we don't. And we like, again, it's just like a standard was set in place. There's a tradition that some animals we use for this and some we use for this, and then we hold them. And I think cows are cute, and I end up eating them. Like I think like I can't. There's very few animals that I like don't think are cute. I get angry at animals sometimes because just, well, I don't know, like the rattlesnake thing with like it bit Ren, and I'm like, screw rattlesnakes. And it's like, I've held snakes before. I think snakes can be cute too. Whatever. Then there's ecosystem stuff, and then there's just like environmentalism and just like planet and just like being friendly to animals and stuff. But this whole thing is like, they're not supposed to be in here. We're not supposed to even have this building. Let's just straighten, like, you know, like if we were just living the way we were before without evolving into what we are now and just like having this building. But what I'm saying is that like, as part of the structure we've created of grids and cities and paved roads and buildings, like those animals, some of them, there's like field mice. That's a thing. We don't need building mice. And that somebody has a responsibility to ensure that that isn't happening to the best of their ability. And to be frank, that's just not happening in my building. So I end up, because I want to be able to work in this space without fear of just like me painting and then mice running across my toes. I don't like, they're quick and they're fast. And it was like that time where there were two birds in here, and I was like, at least they weren't in here. They were in the gallery. But I tried to get them out, and that was easier to try to get the mice out. I didn't have to kill them. I didn't have, like, and I don't know, there's other things that people can do. If I had the money to hire pest control, catch and release, whatever, that would be a better option. I would rather do that. But instead, I have to end up doing stuff. The onus shouldn't be on me. And yet I end up having to do stuff to try and get the situation under control because it is out of control. And I don't feel safe in this space I don't feel comfortable to do what I want to do here. I can't relax. And sometimes I get paranoid when I'm other places, like at home, or I'm just taking a walk, and I just like, if I see something like something at the corner of my eye, I'm like, oh, is there a mouse in my room? I'm like, did it get in my backpack? And then like I'm fairly sure right now that there's nothing in my space, but it's just like but everywhere else it's bananas. And there have been some in my space before, and I've had to flush them out and do things. And I was just like, but this is the thing. It's like I celebrated earlier. This is this weird complexity of a lot of people, not everybody, because some people are very much like pacifist. I don't want to hurt anything, and I don't want to, but I am willing to for my own like emotional, mental safety, because I don't think a mouse is going to physically hurt me. But this is not the space for them. And again, like there should be measures put in place so that they're not put in this position either, where they need to be disposed of. That they shouldn't be getting into the building if possible. And it's just like those things haven't been happening. So I feel this stupid complexity that I don't like, because I feel like I celebrated earlier when there was one got killed by a trap, and I was like, got him. But then this other one who's not dead yet, and because it is screaming for its life right now, that hurts me and hits me in this way that I just really don't like. And it just becomes this thing of like, just whatever, that contradiction, that humanness, that I don't like. I love the beauty that in the complexity that we are as people. But sometimes I really just wish that things were black and white. Like my brain does a lot of black and white thinking, and I just wish things were simpler, and that it was like rules, and it was like this or that. Even when it comes to myself, because like this struggle that I'm feeling right now is not enjoyable. Just because it's not enjoyable doesn't mean it's not worth feeling it, and that's why I'm talking about it. Because then, like, me being confronted with, like, you're a hypocrite, right? And it's like, well, what am I going to do about that? But right now I don't know. Because I'm sure that once this situation is more handled, I'll just go about living my life, and I'm probably not going to change my dietary habits or the leather that I buy or whatever. But it becomes this thing of like, well, you're just a weak person because you just don't want to see the animal in pain, but other people are taking care of it, and you're okay with perpetuating that and supporting that, and that's hard to wrestle with as a person. But then you get into like, what can you do culturally? Be part of the solution, not the problem. And like, I would feel better, or I would sleep better at night. And the thing is that I usually just don't think about it. Like a lot of people, I think I block that stuff out. Yeah, I'm eating a burger. I'm not thinking of how those cows were penned and raised, abused, farmed, like all those things of the quality of life that they have. I'm not thinking about that. I'm successfully able to block that out. But right now, I'm not successfully able to block this out. So then it snowballs and becomes into this whole thing. And that's what I'm dealing with right now. And it sucks. And I hate that. Because I think mice... And that's the thing, I shouldn't be just valuing them because I think they're cute. I do think they're cute. But I also think that they're invasive, and they make me feel incredibly uncomfortable when they're in my space. And up until this year, you know, like I've been like 35 years on the planet and never had an issue until this past year with just like with that not being an issue. Like they just have not been in my space. And like, oh, please. Oh, hi.
I'm feeding it out. It's infecting.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's try the other way.
He's eating the bugs in the mud.
Alright, wrapping up the vlog this week. I have two other videos other than the vlog. One is a conversation that is about, it was kind of like confronting yourself part 2, and it has to do with doing dangerous things safely, and what that's all about, or my feelings about it. And then I did a review. on Dave Grohl, the Storyteller, a memoir autobiography written by Dave Grohl from Nirvana, Foo Fighters fame. If you don't know that name, there you go. I think that's it that I have for this week. I haven't been on a ride with this camera yet, and I'm excited to do that. But I'm also just like, the color grading, because that is a new challenge, because all my presets don't work anymore. So to get the color right, I'm excited to sit down and try that for doing trails and stuff. But yeah, this week, maybe even tomorrow, we're planning on going to Sparwood with this one here. Planning on going to Sparwood with the pup and doing some riding, and we'll see what happens. But that'll be in the next vlog. See you on another time.